Hey, this is Bruce Trujillo with another at-home session. Today, talking with Nana Adjoa from one of my favorite cities in the world, Amsterdam. Nana has just released her debut full-length album, Big Dreaming Ants. You've been hearing it here on Indie 102.3, and we're going to get to know her a little bit better and hear a live song coming up. Nana, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So Big Dreaming Ants was just released back in September, your debut full-length album, and you said the title came from a line in a song that you wrote a while ago, that it was kind of revealed as the theme of the album. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so the title comes from the song "I Want to Change," which is actually the last song off of the album, and yeah, the song starts kind of with for me the conclusion of this whole album. In the beginning, I'm singing "Big Dreaming, Little Ants is just who we are," and for me, when I wrote those lines, I was like, oh, I think this is what I've been trying to tell in all these other songs as well. That I'm just part of this. Big dream we all share, and also I have my own kind of dream that is pretty ambitious, but yeah, when you zoom out, you're like this really small ant amongst all these other ants, and we're all just working really hard to achieve stuff. But when you zoom out, everybody has those dreams, and it was kind of like figuring out what my place was amongst all those dreams, I guess.
Well, and you've been releasing EPs and singles since 2017, but what was it about this collection of songs that made it into a full album?
Yeah, I felt that was the time for me to write something more. Yeah, to have like a bigger work, and I just started writing in the beginning. I think I really wanted to write an album, but I just started, and I actually had a totally different approach in the beginning of what I wanted it to sound like. But when I started, different stuff came out, and yeah, after a couple of songs, started to make sense that it was, about some of the same. It came from the same source, and then yeah, also when that last song, "I Want to Change," um, kind of done, that it felt like, okay, this is what's going to be kind of the vibe of of this work, and it felt like an album because yeah, there were so many songs that yeah, it felt different this time. I don't know why, but yeah, it just felt like, yeah, this is the time for an album for me.
Well, and take me through your writing process. Do you normally start with just instrumentals, or do you kind of create the lyrics first, or is it kind of a bit of both?
Um, it's mostly music. I do sometimes write some lines down or record just voice memos of some yeah, ideas for lyrics, but mostly, yeah, for me, music is kind of the source material. Yeah, I just like to, for this album especially, I wrote and recorded a lot of the stuff simultaneously. So I was in the studio, and for me, it's nice to have like all the instruments set up, and just so I could get behind the piano and get with this idea, and then add some drums, just like really primitively in the beginning. But yeah, like all these musical instruments at just in the same room, for me is kind of like a perfect playground, and the music first sets a mood, I guess, and then at some point, yeah, I had to have some some lyrics. So I just start writing the lyrics later, but then I'm already pretty far with musical stuff.
And you are a multi-instrumentalist, but you primarily play bass. You started playing bass when you were
Mm-hmm.
younger, and you came to find out that your mom was also a bass player. I think the story is super cute. Can you tell us about when you first started playing bass and finding out that your mom is also a bass player?
Yeah, it's really funny. Now it looks like it's fate, but in the beginning, I just wanted to start a band with my friends, like every yeah, 10-year-old, listening to the Chili Peppers and all the other instruments. Like there was already a drummer and there was a guitar player, so yeah, I was kind of like destined to play the bass in that band. So I asked my mom, like, yeah, I want to play the bass. Can I buy one, or can we do this? And she was like, oh well, that's perfect, because I used to play the bass myself, and I have one lying around, so let's get started. Yeah.
That's so great. And you actually studied music. You studied jazz actually in school, and you
Mhm.
mentioned the Red Hot Chili Peppers and kind of that interest in playing bass. How did the two, playing learning jazz and then wanting to play like rock music, how did that marry itself into what you do now?
Yeah, I guess from the beginnings, just being in a band, playing music was my first love, playing music with other people. And when I went to the conservatory, I chose the jazz department because for me, yeah, it was the most international department and also was the most challenging department. And I was really interested in jazz at that time. But yeah, also there was kind of a split in my musical life. At school, I was really, into the jazz studying, but outside of school, I was still playing in a lot of different bands, also rock, alternative, singer-songwriter stuff. So it was always like these two things were kind of two separate paths, but I think it both inspired me. And when I really started writing my own music more seriously, I think I took from both worlds, and yeah, just the both two worlds came naturally back to writing songs on my own. Yeah.
I'm speaking with Nana Adjoa, my guest today on At Home Sessions. I am Bruce Trujillo. Her debut full-length album, Big Dreaming Ants, is out now. And we've been hearing She's Stronger here on Indie 102.3 for the past few months. A song about really growing into yourself. Tell me more about writing She's Stronger.
Yeah, that song was kind of like a moment that I realized that I had like the same experience multiple times. So I had different women come into my life that kind of inspired me, because at first they reminded me a little bit of myself, but actually they were they were way more free, way more independent, way more adventurous, and all of those things that I wanted to be myself, actually. And I kind of like, yeah, when I was writing the song, all these experiences came together, and it felt like, oh yeah, I'm not really the person yet that I want to be, but I've met some women actually, in my life that really kind of represent like different parts that I wanted to, I need to grow a little bit more into. And yeah, I felt like when I was writing the song, kind of like then all these experiences, kind of got the same meaning. And yeah, the song was born out of kind of having this understanding finally, like, okay, this is what that feeling is.
Oh, interesting. And you're also going to perform another song for us from Big Dreaming Ants, Throw Stones. I personally get like an Elliott Smith vibe on the sound of this one. And before we get
Cool.
into it, tell me about writing this one. I feel like the melody gets stuck in my head throughout the day. I think it's so pretty.
Oh, thank you. Wow, that's cool. Yeah, so I wrote this song kind of, like over a year ago, and it's me thinking about all the ugliness online. Everybody's just it feels like they're not the same, moral standards online than there are in real life. So I was kind of like trying to keep myself from going into this ugly mess, and trying to keep myself from becoming this anonymously very angry person online, because I think everybody feels anger and emotional at some point sometimes, but some people really go out their way to just throw everything online without any filter. And this song for me was kind of like realizing like I have these feelings as well sometimes, but I really don't want to go and be that person that just throws everything online. And this song was kind of like me thinking about all that stuff.
Well, we do have a special performance of the song here on Indie 102.3's Sessions at Home. This is Nana Adjoa with Throw Stones.
Try not to see red. Count back from 10 until I land. Take a deep breath and leave your little lions den. No, I'm not gonna throw stones. up smell? Does it really show? The thing that scares me most, I won't. I'm not going through stones. I'm not gonna let go of my veiled violence. My mission to recognize tons and tons of liquid lies takes me to the boiling point, taking everything overboard. But I won't. I'm not gonna throw stones. No, I'm not going to let go. And then my violence. No, I'm not going through stones. I'm not going to let go of my violence. Come back from 10 until you land.
Discover new music on Indie 102.3 with Nana Adjoa's Throw Stones from her new album, Big Dreaming Ants. And Nana, before I let you go, I got to know, what are one or two of your favorite songs from 2020?
Oof. I really like this band Salt from England. Their song Wildfires was absolutely great. Yeah, but there's a lot of other stuff out there. I also really, the new Haim album kind of growed on me. The first time I heard it was like, I didn't really catch it, but I'm listening to it more often now. So some of the songs there are also stuck in my mind.
Time, Women in Music Part 3. Well, I
Yeah.
am Bruce Trujillo for Indie 102.3. More at-home sessions over at indie1023.org. Nana, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you so much.